I have to say, the worst part about this new Superman show on Adult Swim is the relationship between Clark and Lois. At first, I was uninterested, but now I'm just annoyed. There's this new thing where the female love interest of a few months gets mad at the superhero protagonist for not divulging their deepest, darkest secrets immediately. And the writers try to gaslight the viewers into thinking this is a reasonable reaction. Everyone remembers when they race swapped a mostly useless and insignificant character from Invincible and somehow made her even more intolerable. Amber had the whole internet triggered the way she had gaslit Mark into thinking she was mad because he seemingly ran off like a coward. But no, it turns out she actually knew he was invincible because of course she did. She's too smart, too brave and smart. And she's really just salty because he lied, quote unquote. He lied to her and didn't trust her with his most important secret. Man, just because you give up ass on the first date don't mean my nigga gotta give up his secret identity on the first date. I think the worst part is when the story writes it as Mark's the dick. They write it like he's wrong. Like they clearly want you to think he's in the wrong for saving lives. His best friend sides with Lambert, even Adam Eve, the one who told him to not tell her the his secret identity, she's siding with her. Yeah, the writers are mentally challenged. It gets worse when he takes a life altering, vicious ass whooping by the hands of his own dad. And she decides to pop her ass back around like nothing happened. Like she didn't just dump him in the nastiest way for the dumbest reason. And she dares to compare Mark not telling her his secret identity to Omni Man not telling Mark that the only reason he exists is because Omni Man needed to infiltrate human society. Yes, Mark finding out that his whole life is a lie, and Amber finding out that her boyfriend was a superhero saving lives, clearly the same. Somehow, though, the writers of My Adventures with Superman decided to pull this same nonsense. For some reason, it feels like Lois Lane has way more screen time than she should. And it's worse when it seems these writers don't know what to do with these regular, normal human characters that they're forcing on us. So, of course, you have to get some forced drama. As early as episode 5, Lois Lane discovers Clark's secret identity and decides to confront him on it. He refuses to divulge his secret identity, so she decides to force him to reveal his secret identity by jumping off a bridge. My bad, jumping off a building. Clark should have did like the OG Superman. You know the old that Superman movie when Lois pulled this same nonsense and he made her look stupid. But this Superman is way more pussy, so unfortunately he didn't. And when he saved her, Lois Lane had the nerve to look pissed and start hitting on him. Like she was disappointed he was actually Superman. Like man, you're about to die if he wasn't. I hate this stupid plot line where the love interest acts as if the protagonist owes them something after only knowing them for like 2 months. I remember watching this one couple react channel watching Invincible. The husband called Amber stupid, and the wife was like, "Well, how would you feel if I was a superhero and you didn't know?" Ma'am, you're married with kids. That's a whole different reality. Amber and Mark just started dating. Clark and Lois weren't even dating yet. The whole scenario is stupid. And I get most modern writers for shows are trash and don't know how to write drama into a story without it being forced or cliche. Clark at least called Lois out, pointing out that her whole goal was to expose Superman and his secrets, and that she literally jumped off a bridge just to prove he's Superman. This episode caught a whole lot of hate, but people had hope that unlike Invincible, the writers won't treat Lois as if she's in the right and Clark as if he's in the wrong. So I waited and wanted to see how this plot line played out. And spoiler alert, no, Lois is never portrayed as in the wrong, and Clark is the one who ends up apologizing. And you know what's messed up about all this? Lois literally lied to Clark in the first episode, almost losing him his internship. She's the liar. All Clark did was want to live a normal life. After Lois breaks up with Clark before they even start dating, I don't know how that works out. She tries to call their friend Jimmy, who is not answering. Clark comes to ask for her help, so she reluctantly agrees, and they go search for Jimmy. At some point, Lois starts questioning Clark while they're in the middle of searching for Jimmy and their lives are in danger. She decides this is a perfect time to start questioning Clark, even though he clearly doesn't want to talk about it. But I guess she has no respect for his boundaries. She asks what else Clark lied to her about, accusing him of even lying about his feeling towards her and using her to hide his identity or something. I don't know. It's just stupid and annoying. Like, why do these characters all of a sudden have no common sense and can't understand why a superhero might not want to go blabbing about their secret superhero alien identity? Clark ends up, for all he knew, risking his life to save Lois from bullets. You'd think she'd feel bad and apologize for accusing my man of faking his feelings and being some sort of Omni Man, but the story just kind of moves on. She looks like she feels a bit bad, but who knows? Eventually, they do find Jimmy, where Clark starts copping pleas and apologizing like a pussy. Like, man, it's okay. You don't have to reveal things about yourself. That's not everyone's business. It's like trying to force a man to reveal his sexuality and come out the closet. And I might understand Lois's hurt if they were in a serious relationship where marriage could be a possibility in the future, but they weren't even dating yet. You're someone he just met who he had a crush on. Jimmy informs Clark that he's been knew that he was just waiting for when Clark was ready to tell him himself. See, this is how a normal person acts who respects people's boundaries. But of course, here goes Lois talking about some. If you knew, why didn't you tell me? Man, was he supposed to tell you someone else's business that wasn't his? Like, what is wrong with this woman? And here goes Jimmy as talking about, you told Lois before me? Clark should expose her and how she purposely jumped off a building in order to expose him. See what Jimmy thinks about that. But I feel Jimmy a bit more than I do Lois. If you don't tell someone, tell the day one homie, not some fickle ass thought. There's more nonsense, but I'm already tired. But by the end of the episode, guess what? Clark learns that there's someone after him. I mean, of course there's someone after him. He's an alien who has pretty much every superpower. You'd never be able to live a normal life if everyone knew. Sounds like a good reason to not go easily giving away your secret identity, but especially to thoughts you're just crushing on. But what do I know? Clark gives his speech about how he needs to stay on Earth and make it easier for people like him who are different to be accepted. Yeah, okay, nigga, never gonna happen. You're an alien who has the capability to take over the planet. I've seen them comics, nigga, and that's not even factoring in the villains. You'll never be fully accepted just off your capabilities and the fact you're capable of being wrong and making wrong decisions. You're imperfect, but you're an imperfect person with a whole lot of power. That's a scary concept for anyone. Moral of the video is that this trope is stupid and you should never tell normal niggas your secret identity, because if a supervillain pop up, what they gonna do? Box? I think not. If I was Clark, I'd be petty as fuck and leak my identity and let it be known he likes to hang around specifically Lois Lane and see if she's ready to deal with the consequences, the weight of knowing my secret. And she better be ready to die about that shit too. On phone now.